just thinking this like movie over, like the whole message of the movie is you get what you fucking deserve. Welcome to Tairimo Boys Podcast. I'm your host Cody. With me in second chair is the boy who lives in a society. It's Jeremy.
We live in a society. That's for damn sure.
Do indeed. With me in third chair is the boy who gets what he fucking deserves. It's Ryan.
What's up?
Today we're gonna go back and review the 2019 hit Joker right before the second Joker movie comes out.
Strap yourselves in.
So, for anyone unfamiliar with this movie, well, first off, I'll start with some little fun facts. The movie had a budget between 55 and 70 million. It was the first comic book R-rated. Well, it wasn't the first comic book, but it was the first R-rated movie to make over $1 billion.
Easy to see why.
I wish the studio people would understand. We want these R-rated comic book movies.
It's all we've ever wanted.
Joker does well. Deadpool does well. Now, if anyone's unfamiliar with the movie, it was kind of controversial at the time. It feels so weird saying that. The movie's only 5 years old, but
Yeah, please don't say at the time when it's only 5 years old. Please. Feel more middle-aged by the moment.
well, you're a middle-aged boy, Jeremy.
God damn it, I know. Come to terms with that.
But anyways, the film is basically a alternate take on DC's villain, the Joker, where we get a completely different origin story and we delve deep into his psyche. We don't get red masks and chemical vats this time around. So, Jeremy, what were your first thoughts on the movie?
This movie is wild. A great alternate interpretation of the Joker. I loved every second of it.
Ryan, first thoughts?
All right, it's time for the Tairimo Boys fight. I remember when you watched this movie and you texted me and said, "You got to watch this movie. It's awesome." So here's my first thoughts on this movie. I like this movie a lot for the most part. It is a great film. I think it is a great throwback to Martin Scorsese 70s era films. That being said, as a Joker film, it missed the mark for me. But we'll get into that later once
I
we
can't wait
talk
to get
about
into
the ending.
I've got it on my list, Ryan. Trust me, I
Good.
remember the deep discussion we had on this years ago.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Your main complaint is that you don't think this Joker could go against Batman, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, yeah, it's on my list.
Ooh,
All
that's
right.
going to be a good one. That's going to be a really good one. I can't wait to get to that.
Provided something, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
See, I still remember that all after all these years. As for my first thoughts, they hold firm from whenever I first texted Ryan. I absolutely love this movie. I think Ryan was the one who convinced me to go see it, and then I saw it first and then text him. But just the themes of this movie, it's something we've never seen before, and well, it's not really a superhero, it's more a supervillain type story. But
Yeah, you didn't want to see it because you wrote off DC.
I still write off DC.
It was easy to see why back then.
Do you remember the Flash?
What Flash?
I try not to.
There's a reason. I've got them kind of written off.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not going to argue with that.
But anyways, what's great about this movie is Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. Well, he's really Arthur Fleck, but you just get to see how messed up his world is, where you could tell he's mentally ill. He's suffering from schizophrenia. He wants to unalive himself, but we just slowly see his descent into madness.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite parts about this movie. And the more he descends into madness, the more he's able to control himself.
I think one of the things too is he gets off his medicine as the film goes on and on. His medicine's really is what's keeping him anchored. Then he becomes more and more delusional until everything falls apart. And something else I loved in this movie is you see just how dysfunctional that Gotham City is.
Gotham's fucked up.
Yeah, government's falling apart. There's worker strikes. Well, there's garbage strikes. Then you see garbage piling up throughout the movie, and then it
The
gets
super rats.
You super rats, yeah, attacking multiple people. You need super cats in order to beat them.
Yeah, can you imagine walking down a dark alley and there's a super rat that just it meets you down there?
Jeremy, who would win, the super rats or the rodents of unusual size?
Oh, the rodents of unusual size. Those things are. Oh, I got the chills because I'm still so scared of those.
Watch our Princess Bride review.
Yes, and you'll know my pain.
But the whole thing is like you feel like really bad for Arthur throughout the movie. Like you could tell he's suffering and wants to get better, but he just doesn't have the support.
Yep, nobody gives him a chance. Pretty messed up. Well, I guess one person did. Gary.
Gary was the midget, right?
Yeah.
Just thinking this like movie over, like the whole message of the movie is you get what you fucking deserve.
Also, my favorite line from this movie. Also, my favorite scene from this movie. One of them.
We're not getting into favorite scene yet. And
I just love it so much because it's literally.
that scene's gonna be banned from favorite scene list, by the way.
Okay, well, I picked a strong second for because I knew you were gonna do that.
It's just so amazing how we just watch everything evolve over the movie. Like not only are we watching like Arthur's like mental decline, we're also we're watching like his relationship with his mother completely change. Like it starts off like at the beginning of the movie with like him and his mother have like a strong loving relationship, and then as the movie goes on, you're starting to notice like this isn't a loving relationship. This is like a parasitic relationship.
Very toxic.
And here's the thing too. Joaquin Phoenix, when he was preparing for this role, he went and studied like a whole bunch of different mental disorders, so you couldn't like completely peg what the Joker has.
It would not be fun. I know that much. Seriously, like you said, this movie does such a good job of making you feel bad for Arthur. You just see him get worse and worse. No support, no love. The love he thinks he's having is in his head. The laughs he thinks he gets is in his head. Like, it makes you feel bad for the guy. So when he goes into his descent to madness, you do get that whole, you get what you fucking deserve. Which is still my favorite scene, but can't be my favorite scene.
Now, here's a question for you boys. Did you fall for the whole fake relation thing this movie pulls off?
Between him and the girl?
Yeah, Domino.
Oh yeah, I never thought that was real.
Sure did. For this review, we established that I am a dumbass.
I fell for it too. It looks like it's so real, and then like when you finally get to near the end of the movie where you find out like he's just been imagining this relationship the whole time, and now he's in her apartment and she's completely creeped out.
Speaking of imagining, so the one I didn't catch was the first time around. I didn't realize at the comedy club when he was doing his stand-up, I didn't realize the laughs weren't real. That one I didn't catch.
They're
I still didn't catch that. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, they're very careful how they cut that scene. But did we notice something special during that scene, by the way?
Comedy club?
Yes.
I probably missed it.
Well, you definitely missed it because it's time for Boo Bonanza.
Oh,
Oh, Ryan, did you catch it?
No, I did not, and I
it
feel
was in the
deeply
book?
ashamed.
Yeah.
It was in his book. Yeah, it's brief. It's so brief.
I had to rewind it and pause it.
Okay, I did catch it.
Okay, well, Jeremy caught it, but whenever he's up on stage doing his comedy routine, he's thumbing through his book, and on like one of the pages, you see he's got like a naked chick from a porn mag cut out and pasted in there. So, Jeremy, what'd you think about those boobs?
A solid 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna agree with you there. The boobs came out of complete nowhere. I had to like double check, but they're pretty nice boobs.
You see it for a brief second, like I said. It's
Make sure they use that R rating.
yeah, use it for what it's worth.
That was another Boo Bonanza.
Always a great segment. Can never go wrong with boobs.
And here's your little fun fact about the comedy club. So the comedy club piece supposedly performs in, it's called the Pogo Club. Pogo the Clown was John Wayne Gacy's clown persona.
Ooh, I would have never got that.
Now you know.
That's why I love fun facts.
Like I already mentioned, you are constantly rooting for Arthur throughout the movie. Like even whenever he starts like murdering people, I mean, they get what they fucking deserve.
Yep. And he only takes it out on the people that deserve it. That's called karma. I gotta say, you do see a little bit of soul. Even when he's going into his descent to madness, he starts murdering people. Like I said earlier, when he lets Gary live. That was like a heartwarming moment. It's like, oh, he does have a soul. He's actually only killing people that have wronged him.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing about Randall is he gave him that gun, and then snitched that he actually sold it, and then later on.
Oh, Randall deserved that. He deserved every bit of it.
Before we continue, let's go ahead and do favorite scene. And like I said, no, you get what you deserve.
Both of them don't count.
Both don't count. We'll lump them together. But yeah, I do love when either the rioter or if it's just Joe Chill under a mask goes and shoots Thomas Wayne. Hey Wayne, you get what you deserve.
Thomas Wayne was a dick in this. Like they portrayed him how I would imagine a person with that much money would be.
Yeah, that's what they were going for too. Is they wanted like the rich to be completely out of touch. That's why you have like the whole theater scene where like everyone outside's dealing with like the garbage piling up and rioting, but inside the theater you have all the rich pricks enjoying their bread and circus.
Looking down upon the small folk of the town.
Yep.
Okay, favorite scene. I absolutely love the very end scene when he's in Arkham Asylum after he stomps out that bitch, and the guy like he walks. He's walking down the hallway and he goes around the corner and he starts getting chased back and forth.
Yeah.
It was like Scooby Doo.
I don't know if that was actually a real scene. Kind of think that might have been another of his delusions.
It could be,
Maybe,
but he is in custody in the second movie, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think him killing like the social worker was part of his delusion because I mean the thing is like
he didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's in Arkham Asylum, so there'd probably be someone watching him to make sure something like that doesn't happen.
Which I 100% agree with, but I love that scene.
Yeah, it's a good scene. What about you, Ryan?
I'm gonna go with two. I'm gonna go with the confrontation with Thomas Wayne in the restroom, and I don't care that it's a jangling key moment for me, but when he meets Bruce, and not that we see Bruce for the first time, it's that Bruce is playing in like some sort of clubhouse or something, and when he sees Arthur, to get out of the clubhouse, he slides down a pole, which just warmed my little 8-year-old heart. Took me back to our grandparents' living room.
I also like when he choked Alfred at the gate, by the way.
It was great.
Did Alfred get what he deserved?
Way to put a button on that.
But yeah, that the bathroom scene was just really strong where the audience and Arthur were think that, oh, Thomas Wayne's his dad because his mom's been just kind of delusional, but we end up finding like Thomas Wayne just stops kind of freaks out and was like, your mom's a complete weirdo and you're adopted, by the way. And then he refuses to accept it and Thomas just socks him in the face like, don't ever come near me or my son ever again. And then I think it's soon after we find out that his mom adopted him and she let her boyfriend beat and abuse him, so that's likely why he's as screwed up as he is. And then he goes and she gets what she fucking deserves.
Yep, she definitely does. I feel like most of these scenes could be some of our favorite scenes because almost all of them are that powerful.
Yeah. My favorite scene is actually whenever he pulls the gun on like the three like Wall Street guys on the subway.
Oh, that was a good scene. I almost chose that one too.
I love that scene because that is the most realistic like gunfight like ever in like
Was it though? Are you missing
I'll
something, Cody?
8 shots in a 5-cylinder. I know.
Okay. I was gonna say, don't tell me you didn't catch that one. I know. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, Cody's gonna have a field day with that.
It's the most realistic if you don't start counting bullets.
It's the most realistic confrontation with a gun that can happen like that.
It's over so fast, and like that's how deadly a gun is.
Now I gotta say something about that scene too. I gotta add to it. The first two was self-defense. He could have got away with that. The last one, he shot in the back. That's execution. You can't get away with that.
Yeah, well, yeah. But as we all know, they got what they deserved.
Yep. And it gave me chills. Even the execution gave me chills. I was like, yep, he got what he deserved. Also, the scene where he was dancing on the stairs after he had Joker personified. That was a good one, too.
That scene's become iconic. That section of stairs in New York is like considered like the Rocky stairs now.
The Rocky
You
stairs.
shoot somebody on the stairs too?
Yeah, it's part of it. It's part of the experience.
But since we all considered it our favorite scene, let's talk about the Murray scene.
There we go.
Oh, what happens in this scene?
Yeah.
I don't know. Could it be the most iconic scene in the movie?
And also my favorite scene that's not allowed to be my favorite scene. It was so epic.
Yeah, this is what the movie's been building up to, where Arthur, his entire life, he's wanted to be on Murray's show, and in some of his schizophrenic delusions, he sees himself on the show. As the movie goes on, well, after the whole comedy club with the boobs in it, he ends up getting recorded and gets shown on the show because he thinks he did like really well in the comedy club, but he was actually just doing his like
Bombing.
disillusional laughter up on stage, and then Murray finally ends up getting the clip and plays it to make fun of him. So instead of being on there because he's funny or great, he's now on there to be laughed at. And his entire plan is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna unalive myself right live on air. But he goes out having the time of his life, and then he's kind of bombing with his jokes, and then decides like, oh, I'm not gonna alive myself, and then realizes like, yeah, it's people like Murray that are like the bad guys here. And then of course Murray gets what he deserves.
Yep. On live TV.
While this is all going on, like I've said, the city's falling apart, and like there's like riots and stuff. Like people, like after the subway killings, people are like seeing him as like a political symbol. And when Murray's like interview after he like confesses live on TV that he killed the guys, like Murray's just like trying to interview him, was like, oh, this is the scoop of a lifetime. And then like points out is like, yeah, everyone cares about these like piece of shit Wall Street guys, but if I died, no one would care.
Broke my little heart. My cold, dark heart felt that.
Mine would break if I had one.
But that's really the point where we get the Joker,
Mm-hmm.
where he shoots and kills Murray. Is like idle for so long, and goes up to the camera, and that's the end of our show. Well, I didn't quote it right, but the police come and immediately drag him off, and then the rioters end up saving him. They're viewing him as like a hero. So he's finally getting the spotlight that he wanted, only because he descended into his madness.
You see him accept the anarchy at that point. Like that's where we got dark Joker.
Yep.
He's
'Cause,
like, oh, I do like this.
yeah,
This is for me.
he's getting carried off in the cop car, and he's like, the city's burning because of you. It's like, I know, it's great.
Isn't it cool to see Gotham turned into a war zone like that, though?
Well, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
A little bit of Batman Begins, too.
yeah, a little bit. But this just felt gritty.
Anyways, Ryan, I know you want to talk about this. So let me ask the question to Jeremy first. Jeremy, do you think this Joker could take on Batman?
I thought long and hard about this. I figured this might come up because I was going to eventually say that seeing Bruce as a child in this, it'd be cool to see Batman at least do a cameo in one of these Joker movies. Do I think he could go toe to toe in like a fist fight? I don't know. That's a tough one to say. I think this Joker becomes very capable, and I think if he keeps going into his descent to madness and he overcomes some of his illness like he was, I think he could.
Ryan, are you ready to dump?
Yeah, I can't wait to hear this.
No, I can't even spell the word sense correctly. I'll say this. If the whole movie takes place in his, if the whole thing took place in his head, and it turns out that Arthur Fleck is a diabolical genius, then I will concede that he could take on Batman. I'm going to need to see the sequel.
Yeah, I know, right? It's tough to say because he couldn't take him physically.
Yeah, I feel like Arthur Fleck Joker is more like kind of like Anarchy, like Batman Arkham Origins, where he can rally people to do like anarchy stuff. But if Batman
You
were
need
to
drugs,
appear at the end of the movie, he wouldn't be able to beat him in like a fight.
so we
Now,
need the Hulk Joker to win.
what I think is maybe in like 20 years, whenever Batman and him have both kind of, well, at least him, whenever Batman appears, if he's like grown more as a villain, then yeah, he could probably take on Batman. But in his current state, I don't think so. I think he's a little too mentally ill and not the genius that we normally see with the Joker.
Odie, you said it perfectly.
I think he actually would be able to take him in his current state if he walks up to Batman and says, Martha.
Batman's kryptonite.
But I have to ask you boys something. Where do you rank this version of the Joker amongst your favorite Jokers?
Ooh, we went over this before, didn't we?
I don't remember.
We did in our In our Dark Knight review, I think. I think we went over this.
Well, we're going over it again, so deal
Yeah, I
with
know
it.
it's be interesting. Now we got to compare them.
So, Jeremy.
It's not going to beat Heath Ledger's Joker for me, but he's up there. He is neck and neck with the animated series Joker for me.
Ryan.
Well, Jared Leto's at the tippy top. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, that's the
Um,
GOAT. I didn't even know we were going to bring him into this because he's just number one.
no. It's hard for me to do because that's tough for me to do because he is great in the role, but I have Heath Ledger and Mark Hamill at the top, but I have nostalgia for Nicholson and Cesar Romero. I don't know, it's a tough one. That's too tough for me to really answer.
So you're just gonna be a pain in the ass. Okay.
Yep.
All right. As for me, he's up there. Like he's no Heath Ledger Joker.
No, there's no beating Heath Ledger.
Yeah. I wish we would have got more Heath Ledger Joker. Like,
It's a shame. He died for his role.
yep.
He
But yeah,
get what
this
he
one's
fucking
up there.
deserved.
I was thinking of making the joke, but I was like, no, it's
Too soon, Ryan. Too soon.
He did not get what he deserved.
He did not. Rest in peace, buddy.
But Arthur Fleck's more of a man who just wants to watch the world burn.
Well, I know they both were. Which one would be more of an anarchist?
I still think Heath Ledger Joker. I mean, that's what he
Yeah.
was. That's what he was trying to prove in the whole movie.
Exactly. I think our Arthur Fleck version just became an anarchist and is like, this is where I belong.
Yeah.
It's more of a by chance thing. Heath Ledger's was by choice.
Heath Ledger Joker was trying to make a point about society that we all live in.
And Arthur Fleck's version made a point about society without even knowing it.
Yeah, he wasn't intentionally trying to do it, but did it anyway.
I'd say two different ends of the spectrum for our anarchists.
That's a unique way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Before I start passing the topic, final question. What are our expectations for the new Joker movie? And as I've said in the last few reviews, the reviews don't look good for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm going in with schmedium expectations because of the reviews, and I've heard it's like a courtroom drama. So I don't know how much I can be entertained by that, but hey, you know what? I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. It's gonna be worth a watch.
I expect to be sorely disappointed given how great the first movie was, but I expect my disappointment will be tempered by a giant chocolate chip cookie sundae.
Okay.
Coping mechanism.
As for me, it's like I'm already disappointed that the reviews look bad. And I'm not a Lady Gaga fan like Jeremy is.
I am diehard Lady Gaga.
But it's just insane to me that
Well, her old
well,
stuff.
we're getting all these like origin stories for all these villains in the Batman universe, and Bruce Wayne's is still like a 10-year-old kid. I mean,
That's how he wins the war on crime. He waits for his villains to be retirement age. Got a leg up.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
Smart.
how old is Arthur Fleck in the movie? Like, it doesn't help that Joaquin Phoenix is like getting up there in age. Like,
Yeah, it's hard to tell. They don't ever allude to what his age might be.
I mean, honestly, I hope they make a third movie and they put him against like a new Batman.
I would love to see that, and again, that's what I was thinking about when I watched this. I would love to see Batman in this.
Like, even if this movie flops, they made $1 billion from the first movie, so they can afford a third one.
Exactly. Give the people what they
Uh,
want, goddammit.
Did you see the interview with Todd Phillips where he said there will be no third movie?
No.
Apparently not, or I wouldn't be saying that.
He knows something we don't about the second movie then.
He probably thinks like, oh yeah, this is trash. I'm not doing this again. Whatever. We'll see.
Well, if it's so bad, we can pretend like the second one doesn't exist like we do for The Flash and just enjoy our memories with the first.
Yep. Oh, and one thing I want to mention too, that we didn't talk about was, do you boys remember when like all the journalists threw a bitch fit about this movie?
Yep.
Yep.
Those were good times.
Yeah, journalists.
Yep. Just a reminder for all folks at home, a journalist would slit your throat if it meant getting an extra dollar, and they'd laugh about it.
Well said.
So Jeremy, pass topic on to you.
All right. Any other quotable moments? Did you boys remember? Any quotes?
Well, you've got the. You
Ah,
think
well,
my
the-
life is a tragedy. It's actually a fucking comedy.
I was gonna say that one. God damn it. Yeah, that's the other one that I love. Any others that come to mind, boys?
Not really. Not off the top of my head.
Ryan, you got anything?
Nope, I got nothing. Oh, touch my touch my son again, I'll kill you.
Yeah, that was a good one. Okay, what else did I got? Um, when the Joker was getting ready to go into the Bill Murray show, and he put on a happy face on the mirror. Did that make you guys think of Heath Ledger's Joker?
Not really. That I always hated
Put a
that why
smile
so
on that face.
serious thing.
No, let's put a smile on that face. I loved it.
I just got general insane clown vibes.
Just general insane clown vibes. What
Yeah.
about you, Ryan? Same.
Yep.
All right, I got one other thing. One of my favorite moments in this entire movie was when the Joker at the when he's pulled from the cop car after the crash, and he gets up on top of the car, and everybody's looking up to him, and he realizes he actually likes the anarchy. Is when he takes his blood and he makes the smile on his face and he turns around and everybody's go crazy. I love that.
That's when he's fully become the Joker.
It's
Exactly.
also one of my favorite scenes.
That's when it cemented it for me. It's like, yeah, he's accepted anarchy. He's accepted he likes it. He's getting control of his emotions and his sickness. So that's what would give me hope for an anarchist against Batman. But other than that, that's all I got.
He's
Boys.
only going to kill people that deserve it, just
That
like
fuck-
the comic book Joker.
That fuck
Yeah.
deserve it. Ryan, pass topic on to you.
If you could do a movie like this with another DC character, doesn't have to be a Batman character, who would you pick?
What I just want to mention too, like the HBO Penguin series just came out, and apparently that's like really good.
Yes, it is really good.
I've been hearing good things.
I didn't think we needed it. And then everybody was like, I didn't think we needed this thing. And then I watched it and it's great. And I watched it. It's great.
Like, turns out we do need it. So
God damn it.
another DC character like
Yeah,
this.
okay. Let me go. I'll go first. No one was excited for Batwoman, but for anyone who unfamiliar, Brendan Fraser was supposed to be playing Firefly in the movie.
Yep. You know who else was supposed to be in that movie?
Who?
He was supposed to be playing Batman. Michael Keaton.
Oh.
God damn it! Another missed opportunity.
Well, Ryan, maybe this is like a Flash situation where you didn't want it to happen.
Probably.
So are we talking just like an alternate, just an alternate story of something dark or
Yep.
like a DC reboot? Rorschach from The Watchmen. I would love to see a standalone movie. He's also like Batman, but kills people. He's got cool gadgets. Yeah, I'm going with Rorschach. What about you, Ryan?
It's toughy. I might go with. I don't want to go with Lex Luthor, but we already had that in Smallville. I'm going to go with either Mr. Freeze or the Reverse Flash
Ooh, both of those would be fun.
or Batmite.
I don't know how dark you can get that.
Use your imagination.
I just watch Lovecraft then. I mixed up our Batman scale today. Well, superhero scale. So let's do it. So Jeremy, on a scale of the Dark Knight,
Ah, god damn it!
that's not getting changed. That's like top of the scale.
It is top of the scale.
But the bottom of the scale today is gonna be Iron Man 3. If you were watching that turd in the theaters together.
Some PTSD just came back. I'm going to put this right underneath The Dark Knight. There is no beating The Dark Knight. It's impossible. That was a masterpiece.
Ryan?
I am also going to put it right under The Dark Knight because it is a stellar film, even though it might not be comically accurate, Joker.
I'll agree with both these boys. Right under the Dark Knight. It's hard to beat that movie.
There's no beating my boy Heath Ledger.
Jared Leto. Morbid time.
That goes back to the R rating I talked about. It's like that movie probably should have been R rated. Whatever.
Would have helped it?
Maybe a little. You don't do a vampire movie that's PG rated. I can tell you that.
It was PG?
Yes.
Not even PG-13?
I'm pretty sure it was PG.
Lord,
There
no
wasn't
wonder I
any
didn't
blood
see it.
in the movie. I know that. It's a vampire movie.
A vampire movie with no blood. No,
Yep.
thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of Tairimo Boys Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, telling us if people got what they deserved. Don't forget to ring the bell. Stay tuned for more episodes.